Good evening, YouTubers. Dave here from Funky Sloth Comic and Collectibles, and today is February 14th, 2021. And being it's a Sunday, it's time for movie TV talk. I hope everybody's staying safe and doing well, and I hope everybody had a very nice Valentine's Day. Quick little weather update, like I always do here in Vermont. It actually got up to, I don't know, about 25 today. Yes, a little bit of sun and clouds. Warmest it's been in a while, but we're supposed to get a snowstorm tomorrow. So, well, so as with every one of my videos, I'd like to do a shout out to somebody that's relevant to the videos I'm doing, and today being a movie TV talk video. Today's shout out goes to Jeremy Jahns. I've been watching Jeremy Jahns for quite a while now. He's got great information. He does great reviews. I used to watch him when he was back on Collider, and he'd do the comic stuff with John Schnepp. So, with that being said, let's get into today's topics. There's a few of them, some good ones. So, topic number 1 is Craven the Hunter. Rumor has it appears that the role of Craven the Hunter was for the Spider-Verse for Sony was offered to Keanu Reeves. Rumors. I love Kraven, the character Kraven. I mean, he is a total badass and is a great villain. I mean, he first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 15 from August of 64, I believe. Kraven is actually Alexei Kravinov. And Kraven is known for his extraordinary senses, his abilities to communicate with animals. He's an expert in weapons master, superhuman strength, speed, and agility. And his senses are what makes him such a great hunter. As far as Keanu goes, Keanu is a very good action star. I mean, he can definitely play the action role, but I don't know if he's going to fit the physical size that you need for Kraven, because Kraven's a big dude. He's a big guy. I think somebody like a Luke Evans, who's a bigger guy, would fit the role, plus the accent. Luke has that accent now, so also that look already. But hey, if they go with Keanu, I'm not going to be disappointed. But we'll have to keep an eye on that potential casting, which I think I'm looking forward to Kraven. So hopefully, I think, like I said in my last video too, you're seeing them set up the Sinister Six over there with Sony, which would be really, really cool if they did that. Topic number 2. This is a topic I don't want to really talk about because they're talking about doing a Wizard of Oz remake. It looks like Warner Brothers is going to attempt to do a remake of this all-time classic movie. This is one movie I do not believe needs to be redone. It needs to be left alone. This is a total classic movie that should be left alone. I mean, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. It looks like the movie is going to be produced by New Line Cinema, which is through Warner Brothers, and will be directed by Watchmen series director Nicole Kassell. And the Watchmen series was good. And she's set to reimagine the story. And if you remember, Disney did a prequel in 2013 called Oz the Great and the Powerful. And that was mediocre at best. That was not, I didn't think was very good at all. And then in 1985, they did a sequel, Return to Oz. Didn't like that either. But neither one of them came close to even coming close to the original 1939 film. And if you really want to read a good book, read the Wizard of Oz book, because the ruby slippers were never mentioned in the book, not once. And there's some other differences from the book to the movie that are very interesting. The book is actually better than the movie, but the movie is a great all-time classic that I just believe with the day and age we're in, where people want to make things more politically correct, they're going to really screw the pooch on Wizard of Oz. It's a classic movie. Leave it alone. There's just certain movies you don't touch. That, Godfather, Gone with the Wind, Citizen Kane, The Kill a Mockingbird, you leave those movies alone. If you want to do something on the same, but same type of movie and name it something different, go for it. That's been done a lot of times. There's actually been some good remakes of movies. The original Scarface was what, 1938. The Scarface with Al Pacino is a much better. The Thing, Kurt Russell's a better movie than the original Thing. So there is times when it's done, but there's just certain movies you don't touch. Wizard of Oz is one of them, in my opinion. My opinion, but leave your opinion on what you think. So let's get to topic number 3. The Mandalorian. One of the best shows of 2020, by far. Gina Carano was fired from Mandalorian. As of February 11th, Gina Carano was fired from Mandalorian and all employment opportunities within the Disney Corporation. If you've been reading up, Gina Carano is making her personal opinions known on a lot of the things that have been going on in this world. She is on the political side of things. She's to the right. She's more of a conservative, and if everybody knows the way things are going nowadays, you really don't have an opinion. If you have an opinion that goes against the grain right now, you're not looked upon very nicely. I loved her role as Cara Dune in The Mandalorian. Like it or not, though, Disney is a private company and can fire anyone at any time. If that person violates their business, model, they have the right to do that. And so I don't have an issue with Disney firing her on because they're a private company and they can do that. This all started back in November with her, where she was saying the pandemic is a hoax, and they didn't fire her, but they spoke to her. And next thing she was saying the elections are rigged, and they didn't fire her, but spoke to her again. But the last tweet was pretty much the final nail in the coffin, is when she compared the censoring of conservatives to the Jewish prisoners in the Holocaust, the camps during World War II, during the Holocaust. That is over the top. And Disney decided to fire. Then there was something about where she wasn't putting. She said she was saying she, and some of the LGBT whatever community they call it were going after because they should be not using he, she, him, her, whatever. And that was one of the things they put in there too. So Disney, in the end, after the Jewish Holocaust comments with the conservatives, decided to fire her. They gave her 3 strikes. I don't necessarily agree with things because I think if she was on the other side of the political spectrum, she would be still employed. But that's my personal opinion. People have to remember, though, free speech doesn't protect you from an employer. If that employer gets put into a difficult spot because of your comments, they can fire you. Here in Vermont, we had a trooper fired because he backed the people in Washington that when they entered the Capitol building. He didn't back the violence. He backed their right to go down there and speak their will and that sort of stuff. And they fired him. But we're in Vermont. That happens all the time here. But again, I'm all for free speech, as you have the constitutional right. And if I agree with you or not, but your employer does not have to allow it. And so Disney didn't allow it. And now she's out of the job, and she was one of the best characters in that show. Anyways, let's get to topic number 4. Yeah, the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut for Justice League trailer dropped today. It was good. It was really good. You can definitely see where Zack Snyder was going for the original Justice League before he was let go for personal reasons and then professional reasons. But you could definitely see the difference this movie is going to be from the original Justice League, which, like I've said before, is an okay movie, but a lot of things that just didn't feel right in that movie, and you could tell they were, piecing things together and putting Whedon's thing in there. It was all over the place. But so Snyder came back. They released his cut today, and you got to see a much better version of Steppenwolf. And you also got to see Darkseid, and he looks good. He looks good. I If you're watching the trailer, it looks like to his left behind, right? Yeah, to his left and behind him. I'm wondering if that's what's her name, Granny Goodness, standing behind him, and the other guy, I can't remember his name. He's to his right, and I'm having a brain cramp. And I was trying to write it down before I did the meeting, the notes here for this. I can't remember his name, but the other one I think might be Granny Goodness, which would be kind of cool. You got to see Superman in his black suit, which looks great. The black suit looks great. You got to see the full nightmare scene that they wanted to put in the original, but they didn't. The full nightmare scene with Batman, where it's that apocalyptic world, and you get to see Jared Leto's Joker pop up in it. It can't be worse. That's all I'm going to say. It can't be worse than the original Justice League movie. And this comes out in March 18th of this year on HBO Max. So, yeah, I really liked it. My question is, they've showed things in black and white, and they've showed things in color. So I wonder if they're going to do a combination. Maybe some parts might be black and white, and then the other parts will be color, or they just go black and white, or just color for the whole movie. I would think they'll go color, but I don't know. We'll see. And that brings us to topic number 5. And topic number 5 today is, excuse me. This house gets dry because of the heating up for the winter. Topic number 5, WandaVision, episode 6, titled All New Halloween Spectacular. So with that being said, this one takes place during Halloween in the 2000s, which is kind of weird because we've been going with the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Now we're at the 2000s. So, but at the end of the last episode, it almost felt like a 90s show. So maybe they just put those two together, but we jumped right into the 2000s in this. It's set right at Halloween, and you get to see Wanda in the original Scarlet Witch outfit dressed up for Halloween, and you get to see Vision dressed up in an old school Vision outfit. The yellow cape, the green, the yellow shorts. Yeah. And if you know the comics and you know it all, stuff like that, it looked good. You got to see Pietro. He actually was going to go out, and they said they can't go out if you don't have a costume. So he takes a little time and flies real quick and comes back, and he's dressed up as in his outfit, which you can tell that's the old school Quicksilver outfit. And it looked good. So they're getting ready to go out for trick-or-treating, Wanda, Pietro, the kids, and Vision. Vision's like, oh, I got this to do, because he's going to be on the neighborhood watch for Halloween, because you remember back in the days, you had people go out and watch your streets because all the little brats, I was one of them, that would go out and, throw eggs and all that good stuff. And she didn't know he was doing that, so they said, okay, yep. So they go their separate ways. So you got Wanda, Pietro, and the kids, and you got Vision doing his neighborhood watch thing. And he's walking around. All of a sudden, you see him look at this one couple, and she's just standing there. She keeps doing this, and not moving. And behind her, you keep seeing her husband, boyfriend, whatever it is, keep putting a pumpkin down, then moving back. So they're like stuck. They're stuck in time, I guess. And he's looking at that, and he starts walking further, and he goes into this little cul-de-sac, and everybody's frozen. They're frozen in time, literally just like they're about to do something, but they're dressed up as Halloween costumes. And we'll get back to where Scarlet Witch and them guys are. But you got Vision, and then he's walking down the street, and he gets to the intersection of Ellis and I can't remember the name of the street, but this Ellis name, they keep mentioning Ellis, so that's the end road before the force field, even though you can't see it right yet. But he gets to the intersection and he sees a car sitting there. And he notices nobody around, so he goes up in his normal outfit, flies, and looks at it, goes down, lands in front of it. It's Agnes sitting in there. She just froze. So he goes over to Agnes, starts talking to her, and Agnes is acting strange. So he touches her forehead like he did with the guy in the computer in the episode prior, and she comes out of it and she's like freaking out. And she's like, what does she? And she looks at him and says, "Are you an Avenger? Are you an Avenger?" And he's like, "Who are the Avengers?" And then she like shakes her head and he goes, "Are we dead?" And she touches herself and he's like, "No, we're not dead. Why would you say that?" And she looks at him and goes, "You're dead." And he's like, "Okay," puts it back, and she ha 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 pulls up and drives around like she was stuck in place, like something in the reality was stuck. She drives away, turns back, and heads back towards the village. So now we go back to Wanda. They're all in the village having a grand old time. The kids with their uncle flying around in super speed, spraying people with silly string, smashing pumpkins, taking all their candy and all that. And then they come back and the kids are recognizing that they also have the powers because all of a sudden Tommy flies. And then the other one, he can feel things. And then we go back to Vision, and he's after he leaves Agnes, he starts walking into the field. As it gets closer, you can see the force field. He gets to it, and he starts to go through it. And while he's going through it, he is literally getting ripped to shreds, piece by piece, getting ripped to shreds. And he's just about out of it, and he's looks like he's about to die. Flashback to go back to the village, and the son all of a sudden feels and can hear Vision hollering in his mind, and he tells Mom Wanda, "There's something wrong with Dad. Where is he? Where is he?" And you can see her getting mad. And Pietro says, "Well, he can't die twice." Well, that ticked off Wanda. She turns and does a magic bolt, blows him back like 30, 40 feet, and all of a sudden you just see her sitting there, eyes start glowing, and you see uh, the force field that she has in this certain area start to expand, and it's expanding out quick. Well, it goes over Vision, and before this, you got Darcy, Jimmy, and Monica. They're trying to figure out things, what's going on, and they're finding out that Sword is kind of crooked on their whole vision of this, on the whole vision, yeah, of Wanda. And you got Monica and Jimmy. They were kicked out of Sword earlier today, along with Darcy, and so they're out trying to figure out what's going on. And Darcy sees Vision coming through and being ripped apart. She goes running, and they stop it, help him, and they handcuff her to a Humvee. Well, then you go back, and then the force field's expanding, and well, it goes over Darcy, so she disappears, and all these other Sword agents are running, and they get caught by the force field. Next thing you know, they're back into Wanda's reality, and they're like clowns or cooks, and the vehicles are, instead of Humvees, are into a fried dough, old fried dough circus type of vehicle. And the rest of the Sword agents get in their car and they're booking it. And same as Jimmy and Monica, they've already got far enough away. So Wanda got pissed, and she expanded her reality. And I don't know. I that was I don't know if she's going to be going villain, like I said last time. But something that was weird was Oh, I forgot. Wanda had another nightmare scene. Remember one where she looked at Vision real quick and he was gray and he looked like a zombie and a big hole in his head? Well, she did that one time. She looked at Pietro and he had 3 bullet wounds from Age of Ultron and he was definitely that dead body. So I don't know if her mind's all there. So another thing is Monica wanted to go back through the force field with Jimmy. But Darcy found something on her medical records, turns the computer around, looks, and says, "You can't go back through. You've gone through twice now, and your cells are being rewritten by the radiation or whatever it is. Her cells are being rewritten." So, is that a precursor to her becoming who she becomes in the comics? Or is that a precursor to anybody that's in there? Their cells have been rewritten. Is that a precursor to mutants? I thought about the last minute because you figure all the mutants, their cells have been rewritten in some form or another. Look at Deadpool. Look at them all. So I'm wondering if that's a precursor for Marvel to bring in the mutants. I don't know. But anyways, folks, it's been kind of a long video. Sorry about that. But 5 pretty good topics this week. Leave your opinion on what you think. If you like this, please hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Share the video. My next video will be next Friday, which will be my comic and collecting video. And then we'll be back next Sunday as well. But please, see right there, my new funky sloth over on my picture there. Another picture that was drawn up there for me by, So I'm trying to get this room, and I'm going to do a room tour here pretty quick after I get everything situated. I found an old Micronauts game today at the transfer station, so I'm going to see if all the pieces are there, and I'll show that off sometime too. All right, guys. You guys all have a great day. Take care of yourself. Stay safe, and I'll see you Sunday at 6 o'clock. Have a good night.